Welcome back. We got another great show for you, The Last Word. But before we start, as always, we would love for you to like, comment, and subscribe. Kyron, it's here. The NBA playoffs is, well, just under a week away. The Eastern Conference is pretty much shored up, and the Western Conference, it's a battle right down to the end. So, right now, I think it's just about time we talk about our predictions for the Eastern Conference because it's a battle to the end. You got the Cavs and you got the Hawks battling it out, and the Raptors are right behind them. And 1 through 6, we got Detroit. They've already clinched home court. We got Boston, number 2. The Knicks in the 3rd seed right now. Cleveland, followed by Atlanta. And in the 6th seed, we got the Raptors. The Raptors and Atlanta, one game separates them. And, you could possibly say that Cleveland shored up the 4th or possibly the 3rd seed because, again, there's only one game separating them from the Knicks. So the Knicks have 51 games right now. Cleveland's at 50 games. So, one game here or there could change that seeding. So how are you looking at the Eastern Conference and how it's shoring up? Because right now, I got Boston really one of the big time favorites, and they're the 2nd seed. Anything could change. I don't. Is it possible for them to get to third? No, they can't. They can't.
No, those teams are locked in pretty
Yeah.
much. I think at this point, with only a few games left,
So
Pistons obviously going to take it. Boston holding strong, number 2. The Knicks and the Cavs, there's still a potential for movement there in that 3 and 4. The Hawks have been playing some solid ball, but again, they too in 5th. But what you're looking at the Raptors, maybe a game. The Raptors a game behind them. And then right behind them is the 76ers and Orlando, locked same records. And then the Hornets are half a game or game behind them as well. Miami, I think, is now locked into the play-in spot. So I think the best they can finish is 9th, most likely going to be 10th at this time, with them 2 games behind the Hornets. Um, just You asked for my just overall thoughts on what's going on the Eastern Conference at this point. This Going down the road, obviously, you have to like Boston's opportunity, a chance with a rejuvenated Tatum, Brown, a guy who's in the MVP conversation, might be on the outskirts, but still in the MVP conversation. You have to like how the season is moving at this point for the Celtics. Um, the rest of the teams, again, the Knicks are again. I don't see no growth from them. I think actually regression this year. I think they're actually a team in the wrong matchup can be a team that's gone home in the first round. So I'd watch out for that, depending on how things fall for them. I'm sure they're hoping that the Raptors stay in the 6 and they in the 3 because they've owned the Raptors. So I'm sure they'd love to see the Raptors in the first round. Raptors definitely. I don't. For the Raptors, I don't know what team you would hope to meet there. They have no chance against Celtics. The Celtics own the Raptors. I think I saw the stat the other day. Missoula, since he took over the Celtics, is 15-1 against the Raptors. So there's a couple of teams I'm sure that would prefer the Raptors fall in the matchup against them.
right now, the Raptors, they've got to win every match right now to be able to avoid the play-in. And Philly's right behind them, one game behind them. Listen,
So
I'm
so 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 I gotta ask. Again, we're looking at these teams here. Uh, we know that who the teams are going to be in the play-ins, playoffs, or at least a bunch of those guys, right? Which one of these teams that when you look at them, Heat, Hornets, Magic, 76ers, Raptors, Hawks. I'm gonna say the Hawks too because again, how tight it is from 5 to 9. So, which one of those teams do you see potentially able to really compete in that first round? Or is there a specific matchup you see as, hey, you know what? It's a Hornets matchup against the Knicks that could be havoc for them. Is there any team in that 5 to 10 group you see as a problem for one of those more stronger established teams?
I think you said it right there. The two teams that I don't think have really solidified themselves are the Knicks and the Cavs. The Cavs, I don't think there's as much pressure as the Knicks, but you find yourself facing the Charlotte Hornets in the first round. I'd be crying if I were the Knicks, and
Huh?
for I'd be definitely crying if I were the Knicks. I'm actually willing to bet that the Charlotte Hornets would knock the Knicks out in the first round, should that happen. Simply because Charlotte, they play with a lot of grit, they play with a lot of grind, and no fear. And I think,
You know what? Just quickly, just I'm sorry, something just came to me quickly. All right,
okay,
let's do it like this. All right, okay. Detroit Pistons. Which team would you least want to face in that Atlanta, Raptors, Philly, Magic, Hornets, Heat? In that group, if you're the Detroit Pistons, who would you least likely want to face of that bunch?
uh, Philly,
Philly?
yeah, Philly for
You know
sure.
what?
Philly has solidified veterans and great young talent. They're ready to play ball. I think that's a sleeper pick in this playoffs right now. If anyone's able to upset any team in this playoff, it's Philly. But I'm definitely sure when I'm say this that Charlotte does not. I mean, the Knicks do not want to face Charlotte in the first round. They much rather
Okay, so
face Philly.
you just have a strong belief that the Hornets are the Knicks' kryptonite.
Right now, I think that's what it is. I think they're younger, they're faster, they're healthier, they're playing with no fear. They've got everything.
You think the Charlotte's interior is that enough to go against the Knicks, who potentially, again, when things are going right for Towns,
It's funny that you say
it
that
can
because
be a lot.
I don't think that the Knicks have the discipline to play the inside game. You see what I'm saying? I think
Fair,
that
fair.
they're gonna,
Most
which
most
is
teams in the
unfortunate.
league, most teams in the league don't have the discipline
That's right. So
to work inside out.
I think Brunson's going to put the team on his shoulder, feel the pressure. OG and Brunson are going to probably take the brunt of the offense, and they're probably going to be relying too much on Cat to hold down the defensive force. And Bridges is going to go obsolete. He's going to go they'll put up a APB on him. Like he's going to
There's
go
a
missing in these
the
playoffs, right?
Bridges has been under fire.
He's been under fire for these last.
Hey,
So
and I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I had him in my fantasy league, so I was experiencing this inability to get 10 points. This guy literally had multiple games of no rebounds. It was bananas to see what the type of stat lines this guy was putting up. I don't know how he's again.
hey,
Stephen A. has
and
absolutely
he
put
was
the
worth what,
torch to him, but
6 first-round draft picks? I mean,
but but
that's where
when
the Knicks made.
it's
I,
gonna come with that price tag, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna get it.
so here's the
I
thing.
think, to be honest, Stephen A. gives him a blight saying that he deserves his money. So,
I mean, that's Stephen A. being a Knicks fan by saying that.
yeah,
Yeah, because
obviously,
obviously that's a lot of bread for Mikal Bridges
for a
to
guy who's not scoring points or
10
getting
points.
rebounds.
Yeah. So I just look at it like this. I want to say that the Knicks are going to be doing good, and I want them to make a deep run. But really and truly, Bridges and Ball, they've got that team moving on all cylinders, and I would not want to be facing the Charlotte Hornets in the first round. Again, if you are the Knicks and the Cavs of the world. But
I
Boston,
know.
Detroit, there's no question, of course. They'll roll over those
For,
teams.
okay, so for both Boston and Detroit, you say Philly.
The only team I can see right now that, Boston and Detroit are probably trying to avoid is Philly. Because Philly has that big man that is still an MVP.
Whoa,
Still
whoa,
can.
whoa, whoa.
When I say he still has the title of a MVP,
Oh yes, it's in one of his closets at
it's in
home,
one of
and
his
definitely
closets.
he'll have it for the rest of his life. When he's 60 years old, you could say that statement. But are concerned about 2026 and what Embiid's got left in those legs.
Okay, so Paul George, Maxi, the rookie, Edgecombe. I mean, like
Sounds nice on paper. It does.
they got Grimes, Kelly Oubre Jr. I mean, they do have a lot of talent on paper, and they got the veteran Kyle Lowry on the bench. You know,
Where he will stay.
but that's all they need. They just need some, some sound words on the bench. That veteran leadership in their ear. And I'm just
So,
saying that
so you believe
Philly's that
that
team.
Paul George and Embiid have one more run in them to be able to
To be
make it
honest,
out of a first round.
let me even say it like this, okay? Detroit,
Mhm.
bright future. Boston, bright future. Knicks, Philly, those two teams, this is their only year to capitalize. So Philly, if they don't capitalize this year, you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to have to do something, get rid of Embiid some way somehow, because or Paul George, because those two contracts paying it all, like they're not going to get better than what you're going to get this year from them. Paul George is well rested. He got the 25 game suspension, so he's fresh legs going to the playoffs. Embiid's been on load management all year. Let's not get it twisted. He's been on load management all year, so he should be ready to go.
I
Right?
can't help but when I see Paul Pierce play basketball now, is you literally are watching a guy
Paul
who
George.
is,
Paul George.
yeah, he's just like, this is what someone looks like when they're like retired but not but still at work. It's like he's out there, he's on chill mode. It's like he's taking this shot, yeah, the going through the motions of it. You're not gonna do
It's
anything
it's it's
potential
it's
to
a scary
even
thing. It's a scary thing
it,
right now
it,
because he
it
came
is
out, he
all
scored like 30
cruise
points the
mode.
other day, and everyone's saying, "Oh wow, Paul George, Paul
But,
George." I mean, like, and I know, like, but I guess, like Roy Jones Jr. said, y'all must have forgot, but you'll remember
yeah,
soon.
it's still in there, right?
It's
Because again, he's a 6'8" guy who's been a scorer in this league. He has a skill set that, yeah, he can
he still has it.
score. He can
So
score on some nights.
so when
But
you
the problem is it a net positive
Mm,
in basketball at times with some
mm,
of these guys on the court?
mm.
Because you see the inability to move at a certain pace, to keep up with a certain pace of the game, and playoffs coming, then it might actually start to look better for some of these guys in the playoffs when the game slows down, more half court sets. It's again, maybe this does bring about Philly potentially being a team that can upset a team. Especially to me, I'm with you on the Detroit. Again, Detroit is again Cade heavy. Durant can look good at times, and yeah, maybe his physicality might just beat Embiid down, and Embiid not see the rest of the
Right,
series if that's the matchup.
right.
But there is a potential of those veterans pulling together for one series potentially. I wouldn't say Philly in any type of run throughout the playoffs because I wouldn't believe in Paul George and Embiid both staying healthy for multiple series and being able to
So,
compete
and
on
that's
both ends
the
of the floor
question,
for
Kai.
multiple series. So
That's the question. If they can stay healthy, like you
that's a
said, you
lot.
pointed out some great points. 6'8", great skill set, you know, an all-star. He should be able to produce. This is the time. Fresh legs. You're now talking about the ability to last the duration of the playoffs when they both
Mhm.
had a lot of rest. So you telling me with all this rest going into the playoffs, how
Let me
more
tell you
sweeter
something.
do you need it? If you
When
cannot,
listen here, when your legs are gone, yeah, it's nice to have rest. But you know what happens? You come back out on those same legs, right? And those same legs that couldn't get it done before, ain't getting it done during.
Well,
So it's lovely to get the rest, and hey, kudos to these guys being able to cash in on huge paychecks for the year, and again go show up to work very infrequently. Good on them, honestly. At this point, um, I'm not sure how much longer they'll be able to pull it off, but hey,
well,
if that's why
like I said, man,
you get those years.
if like they're both making over $200 million, so this is the year. They're not going to any younger. This is the year. So that
So
guy's
no,
saying,
no potential in anyone else. You
well,
think
here,
upsetting anyone?
here's. Let's be realistic. Detroit is without Cade Cunningham. And if Cade
should be
Cunningham
back
does
to the
come
playoffs.
back, you're
Yes.
coming back from a collapsed lung. So we don't know what kind of Cade Cunningham we're going to be seeing when he does come back. I'm
that's
willing
true.
to bet, because of the pace of the playoffs, he's not going to be 100%. Teams,
Right.
if they're smart, they can cap.
To me, it's how sharp he's going to be as
That's
well.
right.
We know basketball is a game of repetition and flow and feel, right? You got to be in the rhythm.
And he's
coming
been
off
away
of
from
weeks
the
of
game
not
for too
playing,
long to be able to
it's
have
going to be
those
hard to
things.
just turn it on
Right?
and be
They're going to
competing
be
at playoff.
relying on Jenkins to be running the office, I think, for the
Hey,
first and
but you know
second
what?
round. He's been doing a great job.
At least he's been having the reps, so he will be ready to go in terms of, hey, I may need to show up for a few more minutes than typically when Cade was around, or even to lighten the load of Cade of them both playing. So
So, so
yeah, it's
I'm
going to be
looking at
interesting for
this.
Detroit.
Let's just eliminate Orlando and Miami.
Yeah,
It's, I
I
think
think
it's
that's
fair
fair
to
at this
say let's
point.
just eliminate Orlando and Miami,
I think
right?
that's fair.
And let's put Charlotte and Philadelphia in the playoffs. Let's just
Okay, so we're
pending
going to
any
call
big
it.
injury. So we'll call it, Charlotte, Philly, Raptors, Atlanta at the bottom of the bottom four of the teams, right? And if we're gonna really look at it, we're gonna say Charlotte, if they finish 8th, they'll be playing the Detroit Pistons, right?
Yeah, whoever finishes 8. So realistically, like the 9 and 10 game is going to be probably the Heat at this point, and Orlando potentially, or it still could be a lot of different teams there, right? But
It should
Miami, I don't. Miami's not winning 2 games to get into
no,
the playoffs, so
no.
I'll wipe Miami. Orlando, I'm not. Again, I lean to probably them. Them or the Hornets, I think, are going to be that other spot in the playoffs when all said and done. So, yeah, one of those teams playing the Pistons potentially, or
Right. So
again,
and here
we're in a tricky spot here, right? With a few games left, we know certain teams
here's what I want
have
to tell you.
like Atlanta has a tougher road
I,
than.
I believe that 8 seed, if it's Philly or Charlotte, they can knock off the Pistons.
Okay.
I'm saying that they can knock off the Pistons because, again, the Pistons without their number one floor general, they're relying heavily on Jenkins. He's scoring. He's a number one leading scorer on the team. Now, the question is, can you see a Jenkins leading the number one team to deep into the playoffs? And like that's what we're looking at, right? And that just
Hey.
doesn't seem
Hey,
like the story that we want to hear out of the Eastern Conference
it won't be the story because
playoffs.
Cade Cunningham will be back playing that, and the real question is going to end
And
up
again,
being
you're saying from a
what
collapsed
level of
lung,
Cade
that's
are you getting?
possible.
What level of Cade are you getting? Because if you're getting Cade at anything near 80, that Piston team is a physical team, a team that's built for playoff
Can
basketball.
Cade be playing a
And
physical game with a collapsed lung? Because again, if you are preparing for a 4-game series, obviously you're going to be banging in there and try. There's a lot of different dirty tricks that these players are doing nowadays to try to
Cade's
get the
too
edge.
important. Cade's too important to the Detroit franchise for that. If there is any significant risk, I think that franchise and that coaching staff is smart enough not to risk Cade for um for any attempt at a run this year. I think that
Well,
organization is too smart to do that.
I think that he was just a few games from the 65 game mark where he would be able to qualify for, all NBA teams and things of those awards.
Yeah, and
Now,
yeah, that sucks. That sucks for him. And again, if that interrupts any potential future
no,
earnings,
no, no,
right?
no. I mean, the rule's a rule. If you're gonna play 60, if you have to play 65 games to be able to qualify for those awards, then you got to play 65 games. I was just doing some research with one of my friends, and we were looking at the player old, and I'm not saying that it's the same thing, but those guys were religiously playing 75 plus games, 80, 82 games. Like these guys want awards after 65 games. Like I'm gonna say, you know what? That's still not enough. It's still not enough. If it's up to me, you'd have to at least play 70 games for to. I'm just saying, like, if the pioneers in the past did it without crying.
Yeah, but what they will say is that again, the pace and the amount of floor covered that players are expected to cover now in this modern league is it's a different toll taking on the body as opposed to um years of past where the game was again played at a different pace, not covering necessarily the same amount of ground on the court because now again more than ever they're shooting more threes.
Well,
You're having to exert a lot more energy. Again, reasoning for a lot of these soft tissue injuries we're starting to see. Um, it's and this is the justification for right or reasoning I
well,
should
I
say
think
for
I think you have fallen into this generation's soft mentality and soft approach to
it.
the game. I mean,
No, 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 no.
no, I have to do that because
Don't even try that ish. Don't even
you
try that
talk
ish.
about the level of
No,
physicality the
no, no.
players
I'm not
of
talking about. I'm
yesterday
not
had to do,
talking
and
about.
not only that, like think about
I'm
it.
not talking. I'm just talking mere.
You're talking about
Uh, uh,
soft tissue.
um.
Soft tissue means that you're not practicing long enough. You're not putting in the
Okay.
work because you want to be out there getting Instagram clicks. You want to be out there in the limelight. You want to be doing everything else besides practicing and putting in the work that it takes to become great. Yes, LeBron James is the only person right now in this league that is going to take the time dedicated and necessary to do what he needs to do to accomplish his goals. Other players, what are they doing? As soon as
Come
the
on.
off season comes, they're gone off. Blah
Come
blah
on. You
blah blah
get
blah.
no, no.
Listen to Paul
Come on.
George. Players don't even want to play in the All Star game anymore. The mentality is
so you're
soft.
saying Shea. You're saying a guy like Shea is just doing nothing in the league. He just happens to be so blessed to be able to just perform at this level.
No,
He's
no,
not
no, no.
putting in hard work,
You're talking
dedication,
about the
focus. Come
anomalies. You're
on.
talking about the
Come on.
one-offs. Obviously,
Come on.
Shea's
That's not one
special.
off.
Shea's special, obviously,
A lot
but
of guys are
everyone
putting in
else
the
in
work.
that category
Again,
that you see,
if you're saying the
look at
league is
who's leading the league.
different,
Who
the
is
league
leading
is
the league
different
in?
in terms of actual
Okay, let me ask you this:
competitiveness and
who is leading the
physicality
league in scoring this
allowed
today?
within the game.
Who
Yeah,
is
that's
leading
cool.
the
Say
league?
that. Say
Who's
that.
leading the league right now?
Who's leading the league?
Yes.
Like the voice and like the
No, who's leading the league in scoring right now?
and scoring. What's his name? Joke. Sorry, Joe. Sorry,
Lu-
Luca. Luca. Sorry.
Does he play fast?
Does he play fast? No, not necessarily. No.
And why is he always going down with what? Soft tissue? Hammies?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Why? Doesn't want why was he traded? Doesn't want to put in the good work. That's exactly what's happening right now. These stars can give you 4 to 5 years, but that's what all the stars are breaking down. All the stars are breaking down. You know why? There's a reason why, Kai, and you know it. You just address it. They're not putting in the work that's necessary.
But listen, no. But to be fair, again, you are running more out there on the court. You're covering more ground as an athlete in this NBA and then of past, right? The Bulls would come down in triangle offense. How much of the floor would people have to run and cover, right? Let's be honest. But the game was more physical in terms of man-to-man portion and what you could get away with in terms of defense, right? And what offensive guys had to go up against. So that element, the actual contact, physicality, yeah, it was a more physical game on that element. Less physical in terms of running up and down and how much of the court you had to cover back then. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds like a pass to me.
A path to reality.
Just know this, okay? Oh, my camera died. Hold on. Hold on a second.